Martin's father looked more frazzled than dead, as if he was running late because he had been caught in traffic. Isabel looked to her new husband for guidance and was shocked to realize he seemed annoyed. Not afraid, because honestly her father-in-law looked harmless, just like in the few pictures she had seen of him. No, Martin looked like he had simply bitten into a pepper that was hotter than anticipated. "Did you know this would happen?" she said. "No, but it's typical of him. Typical. Only someone so shameless would show up to a wedding uninvited." "Martin, please." She hadn't expected him to be so rude. She hadn't expected any of this at all, but her instincts to remain polite and respect her elders were deeply ingrained, even more than her assumptions about life and death, apparently. And so her efforts to understand the situation were quickly overridden by her desire to make everybody feel comfortable. It was the first time she had met her father-in-law. Stories with me, or even experiences that I'd had, or people who I loved had had, and it felt to me like those stories were just really missing from the national conversation around immigration, because this is nothing new. Like, the anti-immigrant sentiment is nothing new. It's at a crisis point, yes, but the idea that it's novel is, I think, a very dangerous one, because if we think it's new, then we're not taking into account everything that got us here. I grew up an immigrant, and so for someone to tell me, like, wow, this is such a relevant topic right now, I'm like, really? It's always been relevant to me, right? But I also grew up knowing and very much aware of the ways that my life was politicized, but I also grew up, like, when I look back at my childhood and the things that stick out, a lot of things that stick out are like the joyful moments and the ways that my parents tried to protect us from that, and the ways that our lives are like this whole richness of experiences, not just the struggles, but the joys. And so I really just approached the book in that way, of just letting those stories and those characters speak for themselves. What about you?
When you go to promote the book, do you approach it as I'm a Latina author, or I'm just a woman telling my story, a person telling my story?
I think it can be both. Because I am never going to hide the fact that I'm Latina. It's who I am, and if somebody uses that to somehow pigeonhole me, that's on them. That's their lack of imagination, is being able to see a person beyond one aspect of their identity and not for their full humanity. So I try to embrace all of that. There Omar was again, slouched on the paisley couch with his hands held together in his lap. Isabel felt a gasp catch in her throat. "You scared me." Omar shrugged apologetically. "Boo." "That's not funny," she said. "It is a little. Have you been here the whole time while we were—" "Oh, God, no," he said. "Nothing like that. That wouldn't be very polite of me." "But you knew then when to come back. How?" "I just knew," he said. She shot him a confused expression, and after a few mumbled and false starts, Omar seemed to find the words to explain. "When you're dead, you sense all the things you missed when you were living. Moods, timing, a person's state of mind. Not their thoughts," he added quickly. "But in a way, we're more alive than we ever were before." Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen,